Alright guys, this is no retreat, no surrender. Today we're talking about building them guns. That's right. What all the ladies check out. And ladies, this routine will work for you too. So, what we're going to do is bis and tris. Now you're going to think, oh, it's so short, da 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 da. If you follow this routine, you will make gains, plain and simple. So, what we're going to do, we're going to go right into it. I'm going to tell you the workout first, and I'll explain why we do what we do at the very end. So we're going to go right into what we're going to do. First thing is you make sure you do a couple of warm-up sets. Make sure your arms are warm, okay? 2 to 3 sets, very lightweight. Make sure you got plenty of blood pumping through that bicep. Now let's say normally you do 100 pounds, 3 sets of 10 for barbell curls. Just easy numbers. Everybody's different. So our first set's going to be 80 pounds. Then we'll do 100 pounds, both for 10 reps. And then we're going to do 120 pounds. Now, you try as hard as you can, and you can only get 8 reps, no less than 8. If it's less than 8, do 110. But you get 8 reps. Put that bar down, stand there, take 15 deep breaths, okay? Reach down, grab the bar, crank out as many reps as you can. No cheating, no swinging. Boom. Put that bar back down. You got 1 to 2 reps. 15 more deep breaths, and you're done. So you've got your pyramiding sets where you're building up in weight, because you just don't throw the heaviest weight on there you can, and at the most you're maybe waiting 90 seconds, 60 seconds to 90 seconds pyramiding up. We hit our heaviest set, down, rest, and they're called rest pause, what we're doing, if you're curious. Boom. Now, that last group, that 8 reps and let's say 1 rep and 1 rep, you got the following week, because you will have your journal, like I told you, if you follow any of my other stuff. You know, I always believe in writing down every damn set and rep that you do so you know exactly what you were doing next time, right? So, boom. The next week when you come in, you're going to try and do more. In fact, more likely than not, you're going to be able to do more, because you know what? You're eating at least a gram of protein per pound of body weight. You're making sure you're getting plenty of rest. And you're making sure that you're doing some very easy cardio to make sure that you're keeping everything as toned and in shape as possible. And you're going to need the wind to be able to keep up. Because 60 seconds to 90 seconds ain't much when you're busting your ass trying as hard as you can in the gym, and you will be if you're doing this routine. All right, so boom, we're done. Barbell curls are done. Now, at this point, you can either add one more exercise for the brachialis, which is what runs down your arm on the outside here, right? And that has a lot to do with building the thickness of the arm, so you can add that if you want, or you can do this one first, which is what I would recommend for 6 weeks. Add that second exercise after the 6 weeks, because your body will adapt to a certain point. And that's a great, you know, hammer curls. And hammer curls versus, okay, barbell curls, your hands are like this. Hammer curls, your hands are like this. And you're still curling it. And, you know, you feel it here. So, boom. You put, that would be considered a mass building set, and you put that as well into that first part. Okay, so we're done with that. So then we go and we sit down somewhere, we grab a pair of light dumbbells, and you're not going to want to go heavy because you're not going to be able to. And I usually grab 20s, and we're going to do 5 sets of 15. Now, the speed with which you do this is important, okay? Because these are what I call the pump sets. So, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. That's speed, okay? And at the very top, you're going to make sure you're twisting your hand in. You're flexing that bicep as hard as you can, all the way back down. 5 sets of 15. Boom, you're done. Biceps are done. You're fried. You've already broken the muscle down. You've done the other things necessary to make sure that it's going to start its recovery process. We move on. Okay, so we go to triceps. Same kind of thing. Make sure they're warmed up. Couple of warm-up sets. We'll do close grip bench press, which is like this versus way out here. Right? and we're going to do our mass building sets on that. We're going to pair it up. We're going to do our rest pause sets again, writing everything down so that the following week you know exactly what you did last week, and you're going to do better this week. You're going to try harder because the body will compensate as long as your training, nutrition, and cardio is on track. So, boom, that's done. Now, triceps make 3/4 of the arm versus biceps make 1/4 up of your arm. So we're going to do more exercises. Normally I advise, especially with triceps, think about your hand position. So if we did something like this, then we're going to want to do things like this. We're going to want to do things like this. You're going to want to constantly change the positions of your hands for each of your mass building sets. For the simple fact, the tricep has 3 heads that run along it versus the bicep has the bicep. There's the peak involved, but it doesn't have the complexity, the size, or the power of the tricep. So we did our first one, then we're going to go behind our head, boom, boom, boom. We're going to do our heavy building sets, tear them out. Uh-oh, mic's getting too low. There we go. And boom, sorry about that, folks. Done. Now, at this point, you can either be done with it. With me, this is usually all it takes for me, are those 2 mass building sets, and my triceps are fried. There's no strength left to do anything. You can add a 3rd set in. There's a lot of different variations. You can do kickbacks. You can lay down, do tricep extensions, although they're the same kind of thing as push downs, although it is different when you do it with a barbell versus a machine. So we've done those 2 to 3 mass building sets. We now move to our pumper set. And I recommend, especially with triceps, you use a machine so you can really focus in on that arm or arms if you want to do both at the same time, and make sure, you know, same 1 2 3 1 2 3, and you know, at the very bottom when that arm's fully extended, you want to make sure you're squeezing that tricep as hard as you can. 5 sets of 15, and boom, you're done. You know, I don't believe in doing massive amounts of sets to build muscle. It doesn't work that way. And this is the reason why we're doing this the way we are. So our first muscle building set's the way with the rest pause. What that's going to do, that's going to damage the muscle enough so it's going to force it to grow. Muscle hypertrophy. Yeah, hypertrophy. Oh, I said it right. That's what they call it. Basically, you're breaking the muscle down, it's going to compensate, it's going to grow back bigger. But especially as you get older, or if you're young and you've already somewhat, you know, you've been training for a few years and you feel like you've reached your genetic potential, that fascia that covers the muscle, that's one of the main things that will slow down muscle growth, because the muscle's got nowhere to grow. It can only get so dense. So by stretching and keeping that fascia as loose as possible, right, as flexible as possible, you're going to increase your speed, power, strength, overall flexibility. You're going to protect yourself from injury. I have clients that, younger clients that are in sports and such, and all of them have said that they just blow people away. They don't listen to the coaches because coaches, I'm sorry, most coaches don't have a damn clue how to train athletes these days. They just don't. I know, I've heard the routines, I've talked to people, and everything I've seen and heard, no thanks. So, we've done that. Real quick, running over. Okay, so we broke the muscle down. Now, the pump set and the stretching, that specifically purpose is to make that fascia as loose as possible, right? So that we can then grow the muscle. It's basic, it's easy, it's not overly complicated, and it's quick. Get in the gym, get your training done, get out, eat, rest, recover, come back to kill it next time. So there you go, folks. Now, if you're looking for someone to help you a lot more than this and build actual training programs where I teach you and I show you the things you need to do so that you don't need my help after 6 to 12 weeks, boom. Send an email to trainerswhoteach@gmail.com. Say that again, trainerswhoteach@gmail.com. I do have a few slots open right now, so I am taking on clients. I do not have a website for the simple fact that I don't have the time nor the money to do it, and the only way I would really be able to do it is if I shifted a lot more costs and made my training a lot more expensive. And I'm not going to do that. I want to make it as affordable as possible, help as many people as possible. When you hear my rates, go to your gym, ask them what a 6-week program will cost there. Talk to me. I'll give you an in general quote. And you'll see that there's a massive difference in price. And unlike them, usually through emails, although I have no problem talking on Skype as well, I explain everything. I tell you why we're training this way this week, or in the 6 weeks that we're doing, why your diet is this way, why we do things this way, and the whole process. So that by the time we're done together, you're going to understand enough that you're not going to need me unless you want to take yourself to that next level. Now, I do not take people on for contests currently. Simple fact, that takes a lot more time and effort, and I just don't have that time. So if you're looking to put on beef, lose fat, get in the best shape of your life, change your body composition. I don't care, as long as you have your doctor's okay, we can work together. I don't care how old you are. Well, you got to be 18 or older, but I don't care if you're 50, 60, 70. It doesn't matter. My training routines work. One of the things, like I said before, is you've got to make sure that your hormonal profile is where it's supposed to be. You cannot have the testosterone of a 10-year-old and expect to grow muscle. It doesn't work that way. So you need to get your testosterone checked and make sure that you're right where you're supposed to be. So there you go, folks. Quick, easy arm training routine. As always, I'm the Rev. This has been No Retreat, No Surrender, while we're tearing it up in the gym. And keep your eyes open. There will be more of these with other various parts, body parts, coming up soon. So keep your heads down, your guns up, and I'll see you real soon.